The topic of this video is gonna be none other than love. I have wrote down some things I want to talk about, like prompts or like questions I want to answer, or like things, about love. So the first one is, love even real? In my opinion, in my honest, humble opinion, you can fall in love with anyone. Like literally, you can find a person and fall in love with anyone, because love, in the end of the day, it's a choice. And of course we want to choose to love someone who is attractive, who is funny, who is financially stable, who is, that amazing person. Of course we want to love that. But I think that everyone has like good sides and bad sides, and it doesn't matter how awful the person seems, they have good sides and they're worth loving, so are bad sides. The reason it's a choice is because the feeling lasts for roughly 3 months to like a few years, and then feelings are off. That spark, that chemistry, that excitement that you felt when you first fell in love is not gonna last. And also you choose who you fall in love with. I know that people say you cannot choose someone who you fall in love with, but I think you can. If you're a person who would date anyone, doesn't matter, like the most important thing is that they give you attention, then it's not really, it's a choice, but you have things to work on, and we really do choose who we end up dating and like loving and whatever. Okay, that is a little controversial, because I'm thinking of like in the past when I think I loved someone or liked someone, and it just like snap out of it would be very hard, but it's still a choice. I still chose to stalk the person on Instagram or stalk them in real life, or trying to be nonchalant around them. I chose all the things, and I also made that person in my head so much more like likable for me, but in real life that person was not even close to that. Even right now, I have a crush on someone. I don't know that person well. I see him at some gatherings, at some events and stuff like that. I don't know him. I talked to him maybe like 3 times, and just in my head, he's perfect, Everyone I know doesn't like him. And I'm such a hopeful person that I think that everyone has good in them. I'm sure of it. I know that everyone has good in them, and I'm just, waiting to see good in him. Kind of, I don't know. I'm just hopeful for that. We romanticize that person in our head, and that is a choice too, because you can stop stalking someone, but sometimes it's like an addiction. You can be obsessed with someone, addicted to someone. I don't know how that happens. I've never kind of dove into like psychology behind that and why it happens, but it's actually pretty interesting. There's surely some issues from your childhood involved, because there's always issues from your childhood involved, So a year ago, I had a pretty rough heartbreak, or at the time I thought so. Yesterday I reread the things I wrote, and I'm just like, girl, that boy wasn't even worth it, And a year ago, after all that situation, I decided to discover if love is real, and I have a document on my laptop which I did a research for like 2 weeks about love and how we can, I don't know exactly, but there are different definitions of love, where love developed, discovered from, I don't know, the first word love, where it was invented, and like what we feel when we are in love, if supposedly we can be in love. And there are things that we feel, like for example adrenaline, which we can feel while watching TV show and stuff like that. And there's another one which we can feel when we take a warm bath or hug someone. And there's another one. And basically I listed all those things that we can, like adrenaline is a feeling. No, it's not a feeling. How it's called? Oh my god, but you get the point. Like the things we feel in our brain, and I just listed, for example, we can feel adrenaline, and then I listed what we when we also feel adrenaline and all these components, and I would just list when we feel them. And I would just say that love is not real because you can, I don't know, watch a TV show, take a warm bath, and do something else, whatever. I don't remember what is on that list. And basically, you will feel all the effects, or like, oh my god, I forgot that word. I cannot. It's out of my mind. Endorphins, adrenaline. What are those? Those are something in our brain. Okay, doesn't matter. You get me. Do you get me? You probably don't, but that's fine. I just basically concluded the love is not real and that we romanticized it all. But also, I think that maybe that's kind of true. We also romanticized, for example, I was thinking today on on whether we can choose our type. Like, do we choose our type? Are we choosing our type, or are we just born with it? The type we have. I mean, you understand what I'm talking about. And the thing I came to is that I think that mostly we are influenced by the social media and the people, and by all this social circle, like on what our type is. Because I don't think it's like you are born and you're like, okay, I like dark hair, like something like that, funny, nerdy, or like strong or stupid. I don't know. I think it's developed. I mean, it's definitely developed. But yeah, I mean, I think you can try to choose your type to understand what your type is, because my type is so common that it has millions and millions of likes on TikTok. So I'm not unique in that. Also, I heard such an amazing quote about uniqueness. Nothing is so common as the wish to be remarkable. Nothing is so common as the wish to be remarkable. It just, I don't know about you, but it did hit me deep, like deep in my bones. Like, yeah. So basically, I talked half of these things already on my list. I think love is a choice. I think we can fall in love with everyone. Basically, yeah. I mean, that is pretty much self-explanatory why we want to and why we choose to fall in love with a person who's pretty, funny, something financially maybe has strong financial stuff, because we want the best for us, right? But also when we understand that the person we like or the person we set our eye on or have crush on is not for us, we just create all these fantasies inside our head the way I do. And I think, no. When they show me their true side, I'm like, no. I believe that there's something in them that is, better and somehow like that. And I truly do. Maybe I'm just delusional. Maybe I'm just hopeful, naive. I don't know what to call it. I am me. And yeah. Also, when I like someone, I act as probably most of the humankind. I just ignore someone or just try to play cool around them or something like that. I will never come up to you and talk to you if I like you. If I like you, you will hear me laugh. You could smell my perfume because I could grab things that are around you, I will never talk to you. Today I said something, like made a funny remark, and the guy, like, he did something and I'm like, I just said a sarcastic remark, and he looked at me like I murdered his entire family and, like, I don't know, poisoned his dog, and everything falls apart in his life because of me. And I got that from one look, and that was a joke. Like, I joked, it was a sarcasm. And if he didn't get it, well, that's his, bad. Because if I have to explain to you my sarcasm, that's already, we're not gonna click. But also, I'm such a person when it comes to like preaching about never making someone choose you, or making someone, you can never make someone choose you or love you, you know, don't ever beg for love and stuff like that. And not that I do. I don't even talk to the guy, like, you know. So that is pretty opposite of that. But we're gonna get back to that later. But I think that most of the time when we have a crush on someone, as I said already, we just like the idea of person, right? Like, who knows if there would be a great husband? Who knows if they would write those vows? Who knows if they would fix our porch if it broke, or I don't know, anything like that. In my mind, they would. In my mind, they're the most perfect person to exist on this earth. I love reading, and I would consider myself a pretty creative person, which is not really common around where I am, and that the guy I have a crush on. So basically, I would make up stories in my mind that he reads a lot. You know, I would make up stories in my mind that he reads a lot, that he's one of little creative people around here, that we're destined for each other. And then I'm like, what are you talking about? You're just grabbing for bare minimum just because you have, and that is me. Honestly, that is me. Because when I meet someone that has like similarities to mine, I think, okay, we're made for each other. Like, wrap up the show, we're made for each other. You know? And that is pretty pathetic. Yeah. I have standards, I have things, and I think, I suppose I would never start dating anyone who doesn't meet my standards. Like, I don't know, it's so crazy because I'm set on my standards, but when it comes to the guys I like, I'm like, okay, but I'm curious, like, what is he like? You know, I just waste so much of my time just, I don't know, I don't know even on what. I made this tea like 12 hours ago, and I was sitting in my bedroom. It's pretty nice though. Okay, the next thing is, you should not ask or beg someone to love you. I know that I said that love is a choice, but someone could choose not to love you. Yes, I believe that love is a choice, but I also believe that there are some people that are not made for each other. For example, career would be on the first place for me, and I would meet a guy who doesn't think about career, doesn't care about it, and for whom kids are the only important thing in life, like family, kids, and whatever. Sure, we could make a choice to love each other, but there's differences. There's very different differences. Okay, if the difference was that I like red color and he likes blue, and well, that's just, depressing, that would be fine, because that's not really life-changing information. But if you do not see your future the way your husband or partner does, I'm not saying that you should have, like, basically what I'm coming at and coming from and coming to is that you and your partner should have similar views on your own future. Like, for example, if I see myself in 10 years in Italy, that'd be great if he would also, because if he doesn't, then I will sabotage my whole life and myself just to please him. And I talked about it on my main channel, that if, for example, I'll meet someone for whom family is the most important thing, and for me at this stage of my life, career is the most important thing, and if I would sacrifice my whole identity that I had for 18 years for him, I would start resenting him. After a while, I would start resenting him. After the butterflies would calm down in my stomach and just, die or something, I would just start resenting him, and I would be like, why did I ever give up such an important part of myself for you? And the other thing is also true. If someone would give up, I would never. That's the other thing. If you're asking someone to give like a huge part of themselves, to give up a huge part of themselves for you, that's not love. If I would meet someone and I would be like, okay, you're so great, but the fact that you want kids right now and like family right now, and family is important to you, that's a big red flag. So I would be with you, but I don't want any kids or family, And that is not love. I love the person who that person can become, but I do not love that person, because if you love someone, you would not ask that person to give up their identity, their life for however long years they had this like dream or viewpoint or whatever, because the person could have have baby fever, or like wants to get married or wants to have family, like for her their whole life. And I'm just like, hey, see, I don't really care about that. I don't really care about what you want. Just if you want to be with me, give up that life you want for 20 years, because yeah, that's not love. That's not even close to love. That is like you're in the store or on a, I don't know, farmer's market, and you want to make a deal, and you just try to bargain with that person, or just like trying to make a deal, and you're like, okay, I will be with you if, and I've been in some relationships in my life when I was 15, which is like, oh my god. And I thought that I liked the person or even loved the person, but then when I look back at it, I understand that I didn't, and that, I was basically trying to change him, and that I started resenting him because he was not changing the way I thought he would, I would just force him to read, to work out, to do any other things like that, and I will never do that again, nor should anyone, but I mean, people should really learn at their own mistakes, so I cannot really dictate to you on how to live your life, but that just made me resent him. I was the one making commands, but that made me resent him even more, because like, why aren't you reading? Reading is an important part of me, and like sport and like hobbies and stuff like that, and I would just resent him that he didn't have that. I would just force him to do any of those things. I do not understand how he didn't start to resent me, but that's another story. That's all connected to childhood traumas, I think most of the things are, because attachment style develops till we're 3 years old. I think it's an important reminder that could take time, but they're a person for you, the person who you will not beg to text you back or call you back, or you will sit and be worried whether they like you or not and stuff like that. You would just know, and maybe you would be worried. Maybe, what the heck, you would be worried that they like you or not. You would be worried, like, was it right text, was it wrong text, but they would never make you insignificant. They would never make you question who you are. They would never quite make you, feel less about yourself, because if that person does that, that is not the person you want to spend the rest of your life as. That is not the person you want to write your vows to. That is not the person you want to, say to, well, I'll see you at the altar, I'll be one in the white. Such a weird thing, though, that there is a person breathing the same air that I am, and seeing the same stars and moon and sun, and experiencing the same events, world events that I am right now. And in a few years or decades, I will be married to him. I will not know my life without him. And hopefully I don't know him yet, because all the people that I know, I don't want to be married to them. No, to none of these. No, please, no. No. And that is such a fun thing, just waiting. I mean, sometimes it's not fun. Most of the time it's not fun, But I don't know. It's so amazing that there is a person for whom you will be everything, and who will be everything to you, and who will just make you even more secure and confident. And I don't know, I just love love, I have this problem when I like someone and they like me back. I just suddenly dislike them, and it's called avoidant attachment style, which I should really work on. I say that I love love because I love seeing people in love. When it comes to me, I have issues with that. I don't know, I just suddenly get disgusted by everything the person says. Like, I could like you for 5 years, and then on a fifth year and one day you say that you like me back, and on the next day I'm just like, okay, the shorts you wore for the last 5 years were actually horrible. The way you laugh is actually so frustrating, and you just honestly not that pretty anymore. Bye. I'll see you somewhere on the channel. Subscribe, like, maybe share to people who will benefit from this video. Hopefully no one, because this video is just me mindlessly talking, so maybe this video is beneficial and I'm just too critical to myself. This would be a perfect way to end and like put like video recommendations in my channel here, you know.